Well, we have Holly Schneidewind with us. She is the owner of Eagle Mortgage. As sometimes they say on KFAB, Eagle Mortgage. You ever notice on the morning show, Holly, they'll say sometimes Eagle Mortgage.
No, but is that Scott that does that?
Scott, yeah. Sometimes they'll say Eagle Mortgage, or maybe.
Well,
Jim
you can
Rose
call us
does
whatever
that a lot.
you want. Just call us.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
So you guys have been around for 30 some years now, doing the mortgage business.
I know people ask me, and I'm like, hold on, I got to count on my hands, fingers, toes.
You've run out. You don't have enough digits.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. So I think I don't know. You guys do the math. So Eagle started in 1991, and I joined in 1993.
Okay, so you've been around for 32 years and the company for 35 years.
Yep, we're going on.
And as everyone says, you started when you were 12, right?
Yes. That's where all these wrinkles come from.
You don't have any wrinkles. Holly looks great. But Holly, let's talk a little bit about the market. You know, we are getting so close to spring, and there's just something about, when the weather turns. I mean, tomorrow it's going to be real nice. All next week's going to be real nice. There are probably maybe a lot of people looking at houses. What do they do to get started, and what do you need them to do if they're going to get a loan through Eagle Mortgage?
So first of all, everybody needs to get out of their heads that rates might come down. But you know what? I've got some people that are like, we're waiting on the sidelines. We're waiting for prices to come down or rates to come down. Well, let's not count on it. So yes, what do we need to do to get started? Let's get an application. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure out, where do you want to be? What do the numbers do? Have you budgeted? What do you want to spend? And then let's figure out, what does that back into for price or cash to close? And we just have a conversation.
And even if they think they're going to wait, or the rates are going to come down, or prices are going to come down, or the inventory is going to go up, by going to Eagle Mortgage, I assume you can kind of put them on the right track. You're going to be here today, tomorrow, 10 years, 20 years. So why not figure out what they can spend, and if they want more, figure out what they have to get between now and then.
Exactly.
I could work at Eagle Mortgage.
You could.
It's a hard test.
But you passed. And Holly, I guess I'm going to latch onto something you said there just a moment ago. You said some people sit on the sidelines waiting for prices to come down. I could see how people would hope that maybe interest rates might come down a bit, but prices of houses generally
not really. I mean, we're not post-COVID, and I hate to even say that word anymore.
Yeah.
We're not past pandemic, where prices and people were offering way above and purchase price. They were offering appraisal gaps and paying cash, and it's not happening that way right now. But our inventory, which that's my friends at, say, MP Dodge or any of the realtors can tell you, is the inventory is not crazy up there. So prices aren't coming down. I think they're selling for pretty close to list price now.
So it's not as competitive as
No, it's not as competitive. You're still seeing some seller credits being paid right now. So you don't normally see that sometimes in the really competitive market.
I pulled up we'll call it a meme, but it's the back of Michael Steinberg's company card. Michael Steinberg is a very successful developer, built a lot of Walmart properties and things like that, did a lot in Omaha as well, from Omaha. And it's an old man with a cane, and it says, "The young man who waited for the price of real estate to come down."
No.
So
and he's no longer young.
He's no longer young. And I get it when
by now
you hear about in Miami and the waterfront properties where the billionaires are knocking out the 100 millionaires. That's not Omaha. But I can understand when people are concerned when real estate's at an all-time high, and the rates have been pretty steady for the last couple of years, and even though if they're around 7%, we'll get into that, it's still affordable. I remember my first house, 94, was 8.5%. So, and people that are older than me
it's all a matter of perspective,
22%, right? But at the same time, should people be concerned if they're buying at the top of the market? What's the odds that it's going to go up versus go down? And I know you don't have the crystal ball.
Rates or property values?
Property values, let's say.
Oh, property values are not going down. In the last, 50 years, we've seen, 7 years that have actually been zero or negative in 50 years of history of real estate. So chances are, your property value is not going to go down. So I had somebody in my office yesterday, and we were kind of doing the pre-qual, the pre-approval. So we went through, and he's like, well, he wants to pay him a certain amount. Well, I tried to explain to him, you might not get your payment exactly where you want to go. You still qualify, but just remember, when you make your payment, part of that's principal pay down. You are paying towards your wealth, your assets. The other piece would be you get the appreciation in the property versus renting. You're a landlord. You're paying your landlord to own that property and get that appreciation. So
we're talking with Holly Schneidewind, owner of Eagle Mortgage, and Holly, when the interest rates did go up, we saw a big drop in refinancing. Are we seeing any refinance work coming back?
Yes. So we're helping people. Maybe it's not exactly a circumstance where we're dropping interest rates, but we are dropping monthly cash flow outgoing. So we are debt consolidating. It's just this time of year where people have now lived off some credit cards. They're having a little
19% or more.
Yeah, that's not good. So you know what? We're trying to help them manage their debt. That's what we do. You got a property, the asset managers manage the assets. We manage the liability. And that way it can help build those assets.
We have a lot of boomer and silent generation listeners, and we hear a lot about reverse mortgages. What's going on with reverse mortgages? How common are those? And what do people usually consider before they decide to go, yep, I'm going to have a reverse mortgage?
We'll take those calls from the silent generation.
From the silent generation? A reverse mortgage is, I'm getting more and more questions asked about it because we've got it 62 and older. It doesn't fit everybody, but it's worth a conversation. They're not the devil. I don't know how else to say it. People hear all kinds of bad things about reverse mortgage, and it's not as bad as what people say it is. They don't want your house. They're not going to take your house. It's still a mortgage. It's just a different type of mortgage. So we're utilizing their asset to help them either get by, take asset. Yeah.
Has that increased over the years? Has reverse mortgages increased? Has Tom Selleck done his job?
Don't go to Tom Selleck. Have they increased? Yes, I've got a couple in the works right now. So,
well, we have Holly Schneidewind with us. She is head of Eagle Mortgage, one of our longtime sponsors. And Holly, we wanted to ask you just a couple more questions before we let you start your weekend. The first one is home improvement loans. There are always that group of people out there who are thinking they want to move, and then at some point they say, you know what, let's just fix up the place we have. So what's the latest or the latest trends, if you will, with home improvement loans?
So I think people are staying in their homes, knowing that we have 3% interest rate, 3.5% interest rate. So yeah, people are calling asking. We can do several different things. You can do a home equity line of credit, basically pulling equity out if you need it to do some work. You can do a home equity loan. Maybe you could just do the whole loan in what we call a renovation loan. So we do have those available too. And actually, you talk about people already in their houses. That doesn't mean we can't also use those for people purchasing a house that needs some work. So we see a lot of houses stuck in the 1970s that people are buying. I just saw one that still had the orange carpet. No, this one had orange carpet.
On the walls. Now, you just said 3.5%. People's their ears are perking up. Right. What do you mean by 3.5% versus
interest rate?
Rate lock.
We do not currently. Yeah. So let's just say I currently have a 3.5% interest rate on my home. Currently. So that's what's causing the shortage of houses on the market, right? Because why do you want to move or people move when current rates, which you mentioned, what are rates doing now? I hear that all the time. What are the interest rates? That just depends. There's so many factors that go into an interest rate. But why would somebody want to move when rates could be around 7% now? So why would you double your rate? But I'll tell you what, circumstances happen, families grow, families downsize. Circumstances require people to either refinance, purchase, move around. And guess what? You still have the house. Marry the house, date the rate?
Marry the house and date the rate.
So eventually when rates do come down, which we're anticipating they are going to, just a matter of when.
Okay, let's say that somebody has a 3% or 4%, whatever their rate is. They want to keep that rate, but they want to put 20% of their home value in remodeling. Can you do a second?
Yes.
At a 7% or whatever it is, maybe it's a little higher.
Whatever the current rate is.
And they can keep their first rate.
Correct.
And so it's a blended rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's one of the options.
I think you're going to get a lot of business this week. Eagle Mortgage, tell them Trenton sent you.
Yeah.
And with that, Holly, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. But thanks for joining us this morning, and we also appreciate your sponsorship of Grow Omaha.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on. It was great, and now I get to start my weekend.
Holly Schneidewind,
hell of a start.
Owner of Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.